yet, and this is our magistrate, Patsy Whitehead. I'm just going to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Sure.
First question, what did you enjoy about being at Bluegrass Middle School today?
Well, I think the biggest pleasure that I found today was the response from the students. I felt like I was at a family reunion. The students were so appreciative, attentive. They seemed very, very excited to have me in to speak today. The questions were great, and highly intelligent group of folks, and the enthusiasm, it was just like unmatched. I really felt like I was coming home today. My daughter went to school here, so I spent a good amount of time here with her, and it was kind of like a homecoming for me.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that.
That's amazing. I really appreciate that. Yeah. What do you think students should know about your job that they might not already know yet?
Well, and they may not realize that they can call their magistrate, or any magistrate for that matter, for any issues that they have that are county related, any problems with, with the roads or with animal care and control, any issues like that, their trash collection, they can call the magistrate. You don't have to wonder who to call for any specific issue that's county related. Just call your magistrate, and your magistrate will respond to you and help you in any way they can. So that's what I pride myself on, is just helping the folks out in this community to get their issues resolved.
That's amazing to hear. So essentially, Patsy would just like us to know that we could always be in reach of her and that she's always available whenever we need to for our county. One last question I'd like to ask about Bluegrass Middle School is, how do you feel like we represented family here at Bluegrass today? Well,
there were a lot of you that are running for office, and I felt like and when I questioned some of those students, I felt like their answers were really true and sincere. One young lady said she's running for office here at Bluegrass Middle School because she wanted to help the connection and the relationship between all students here. So that tells me that she looks at Bluegrass as family, and a way that she can help that family unite and become stronger. So she's running for all the right reasons, in my opinion. And I felt the respect here was really great. I was very well respected. It was just a very good family atmosphere, and the students are, I didn't see any negative behavior at all today at Bluegrass. As a matter of fact, I saw a lot of smiles and happiness here, and it's just a great school. Love being here with you guys.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you so much, Ms.
You are very welcome. Oh my goodness, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Hi, my name is Patsy Whitehead, and I'm a Hardin County Magistrate. Anybody in here know what a magistrate does? Okay, good, because that's what I'm here to tell you. What a magistrate does. Number one, a magistrate is a local elected official. So when I decided I wanted to serve as magistrate and serve the people of this fine county, I put my name on a ballot, just like you guys are doing this today with your elections. And it went up for the primary election. I got the most votes in the primary, and then I put my name back on that ballot, or actually my name was already on the ballot for the general election, and was fortunate enough to get the majority of the votes for the general election. And so I've been serving as magistrate for almost 3 years now. We have another election coming up next year, 2026. So I'll be putting my name on the ballot again for that election, and hopefully, with the grace of God, I will be fortunate to win that election also. So what does a magistrate do? A magistrate works with other magistrates, there's 8 in Hardin County, and a judge executive. And we work with what's called Hardin County government. Hardin County government services folks that live in Hardin County, city and county, okay? And I represent the areas of, raise your hand if you live in any of these areas, Tunnel Hill Road area in that vicinity, Lincoln Trail area, E-Town City, E-Town City Park, the Highlands area. Okay, there's probably more city students here than there are county that go to this school. But I have 2 precincts that are in the city, so I'm probably representing some of you and your families. But just because I am District 3 magistrate, it doesn't end there. I represent and work for the entire county. So if you live someplace else that is not within my district, I still represent you and I'm still here to help you. So I'm just elected from that area. Does that make sense? At county government, when you're a magistrate, the biggest priority you have and the biggest responsibility you have is to set the county budget. To make sure that the budget is conservative. You know what conservative means, right? We don't have any fluff in there. We don't have any waste in there. It's conservative and is going to be used as it is intended. So in other words, when 911 has their budget and that falls into the big budget, that money is used how it's intended. When the EMS, emergency services, they have their specific budget that goes into the big pile that's used as it's intended. The other departments, some of the other departments that we do, the road department, the animal care and control. How many of you have ever had a stray animal come into your property? What do you do when you see that dog or cat or whatever? What's the first thing you do? You don't feed it, do you? Okay, good. Because if you feed it, it's yours. But if you call animal care and control, then they'll come and get it, okay? But if you start nurturing it and feeding it and bring it into the house, you've adopted it.
I have a short little story. So, in Ohio, I live next to this pond, and this pond, I found this turtle. So I left it there for a day. Well, it was live, but it wasn't swimming. So I came back the next day and it was still there. So I started waving down cars.
Okay. Well, you might have found somebody to take it. I don't know, but yeah, that's good. Okay, so animal care and control is another department that falls under county government. If you want to be an elected official, how many in here are running for office? Anybody in here? Okay. What do you think the number one characteristic you need to have when you're running for office? Loyalty is good, yes. How about communication? That's a big deal, isn't it? You have to be able to communicate with people. And not just communicate, you have to what? Listen. You have to listen to what they want and what they need. And then after you hear that and you listen to it, you have to then act upon it and try to help them. Because if you're just there to take up space and hear somebody and not do nothing about it, that's not what a good elected official does. No. You have to communicate. You have to have a desire to help others. You have to have a passion for people. And as an elected official, that's one of the biggest, in my opinion, characteristics that you can have as an elected official. So I know you guys, I only have 10 minutes, so I'd like to hear some questions from you guys on some things that you might be concerned about. And if I don't get questions, I'll keep talking. Anybody? I'll keep talking. All right. So magistrates, along with the judge executive, we meet in this big courtroom. It's big and beautiful, but guess what? It's not scary because it's not like the courtroom you see on TV. It's not a court of law. We don't do any legal things there like prosecute people or sentence people to jail or anything like that. What we do is it's a fiscal courtroom. It's a courtroom for the people. We're there to help people. We're there to set policies. We're there to amend policies, make changes that are needed, and we're there to serve our community, our constituents, and Hardin County. That's what we're there for. And we're there to move the county along. We're there to pay bills, and we execute those things, and then we meet twice a month to do that. We also have 4 different department meetings that you want to call, if you want to call them that. They're the Resources and Community Support Committee that meets once a month, the Finance Committee that meets once a month, and as you might guess, that has to do with the budget and making sure that money is spent like it's supposed to, and kind of clicks with the budget that we've set. We have Emergency Services Committee, and as you might guess, that has to do with the safety and welfare of the people in Hardin County, make sure that they get the services that they need. How many of you have ever had to take a little ride in an ambulance or know somebody that has? Yeah, guess what? You call 911, which is also a Hardin County service. You call 911 and that ambulance is there as fast as it can get there. Those are services that are provided to the county residents that are all governed by Hardin County government. Now, you pay taxes. Your parents pay taxes every year, and they go toward those services, but they're not nearly enough to pay for all of those services. But they do go toward those services, and you, as a citizen of Hardin County, deserve those services. So my role as a magistrate is to make sure that you get the proper and adequate services that you are paying for, that you deserve. So that's one of my responsibilities. It is an elected position. Again, I think I mentioned that to you. So if people don't like what I'm doing, I'm probably not going to be reelected. So that is a motivation. Not that I need that motivation, but that is a motivation for me to help people and take care of the folks in this community. Because you have a choice. Your parents have a choice. One day you'll have a choice to vote for the person that you think best fills that position. Okay, like the ones that are running for office. Why are you running for office?
I'm running for office because I like our school to be more connected to our community and want us to be more connected with each other. Because I feel like if we could all just work together and like not hurt each other with our words and our body language, more people would feel welcome to our school.
Okay, so you care about people and you want to make a difference and you want to improve the environment and the connections. You want to improve the connections within the student body, and that's perfect. That's a good reason to run for office. A bad reason would be just because I want to use this as a stepping stone, or I want to do this because I can, or I want to see if I can get elected. Those are not good reasons, are they? You have to have a passion. You have to have a passion for helping people and for doing good. And your passion is helping your fellow students. And you're probably similar, but is there anything you want to add to that? Okay, that is what an elected official should feel. A passion for helping people, a drive, a need to help people. So that's primarily one of the reasons that I run for magistrate here in Hardin County, is to help people get their issues resolved. If you have a problem with the road, who are you going to call? Who are you going to call?
Architects.
Who are you going to call? What? Who am I? What am I? What am I? What am I? Your magistrate. Your magistrate. If you don't know your magistrate, you can call me, okay? Because I'm still your magistrate. You may not live in the area that votes for me, but I'm still your magistrate, okay? I represent the whole county. I don't care where you live. Doesn't matter to me. I'll help you. So you call your magistrate. If your trash isn't being picked up, who are you going to call? Your magistrate. Yeah. Yeah, if you've got a nuisance in your backyard with somebody that's got all kinds of weeds growing out and dogs barking all night and just an infested place, and you can't go out in your back porch and sit because it's really, really bad, who are you going to call? Your magistrate, because we have a code enforcement officer that's going to go out there and check that out. It may not be as bad as you think it is, so they may not be able to do what you want them to, but if it meets certain standards of bad, they can get it fixed for you. Your magistrate, yeah. So your magistrate is here to help you. It's a local position. It's not, I don't go to Frankfort to set any policies or vote on any amendments or anything like that. I don't go to Frankfort. I don't go to Washington. I'm here. I'm here in Hardin County. You're going to see me at Walmart. You're going to see me at TJ Maxx. You're going to know me as a local friend, somebody that can help you. And that's what I enjoy most about being a magistrate, is because I'm right here in my hometown. And that's what makes it rewarding for me. Any other questions? Everybody good? No other questions? You want me to keep talking? I can do it. Yes?
What were you like before you became a magistrate?
Oh, I love that question. I worked, anybody ever heard of Nolan RECC? Now come on, where do you get your electricity? Your parents get their electricity either from Kentucky Utilities or Nolan RECC. I worked for Nolan RECC, which is a rural electric cooperative. I was there for 30 plus years. And I was the communications manager. So that's why I'm so big on communications. That's why I know how important it is to listen and to react and to be proactive with the folks that you're trying to help. So I worked at Nolan and I helped people. So and when I ran for office as magistrate, it was just a continuation of what I had been doing, helping people, basically, if you want to look at it that way. Let's just break it down into simple terms. Helping people, making sure your county is run effectively, efficiently, and
So I enjoyed being with the students, seeing their enthusiasm for learning and meeting some of the teachers. A couple of them I knew, some of them I didn't, and so it's always good to meet new people and reconnect with old friends.
What should students know about your job that they may not know?
Wow. So it's not a 24/7 job. I mean, it is. We're always available 24/7. But so I have a regular job that I also have. It's not considered a full-time position where I actually have an office that I go into and work. The only office that I have would be fiscal court, and that's when we meet for fiscal court on the Tuesdays.
What was your favorite question today?
There were a lot of great questions today. Probably the favorite, I guess, would be what is your favorite part of the job? And for me, the favorite part of the job is serving our community and doing the best that I can for our community to make sure that we have a good community now, but a good community 50 years from now. Like I said, the decisions that we make today are going to affect my grandkids, my great-grandkids, and the future of Hardin County.
What questions do you wish would have been asked but weren't asked?
Well, there was probably more questions I wish were not asked than not asked. There were they asked some pretty tough questions. It was very inquisitive coming from them, some of the questions that they had come up with. Some of them didn't quite apply to county government, so that made it a little more difficult to answer. But you don't want to not give them an answer, so you try to come up with the best answer you can with your abilities. I can't really think of any questions that they didn't ask that I wish would have been asked. They did a great job.
How do you feel about the students voting today? How do you think that will affect them voting?
I think it's very important that the students have the ability to vote the way they are, rather than just filling out a name. I saw the ballots. It looks like the same kind of ballot that we get as adults when it comes time when my name's on the ballot. It looked like the same kind of ballot. So I think that it will help our students in the future when they do become eligible voters. They won't be scared when they see the ballot. They'll know, oh, I fill this box in completely, and I know that I picked just one of these people. And so I think a lot of times people have a fear when they go in to vote that they see all those names, all those blanks and spaces, and they're by themselves. They don't have anybody to ask any help. And I think a lot of people just get a little nervous. And I think the more you do it, the more you'll get comfortable with it. So I think it's great that our students are having the opportunity to be able to vote like a registered voter would vote. Good morning. How are you guys today? Good. All right. Man, we got a full class in here. The last one didn't have this many. So my name is Kenny Saltzman. I am the county magistrate for the 2nd District here in Hardin County. The school is actually in my district. The neighborhood across the street is not in my district. So if you go from here north all the way up to about Vine Street, where Walgreens is at, that kind of encompasses the 2nd District. Okay? We have 8 districts altogether in the county, 8 different magisterial districts. So that means there are 7 other magistrates besides myself that make up the fiscal court for the county. We also have our judge executive, who also has a seat on fiscal court, and he is also a voting member. So, I'm trying to remember maybe some of the questions that we had. One of the questions was what made me interested in doing this position. So I've always been interested in government at a young age, like you guys. I've always felt a call to service, and I felt that this was a good way to give back to my community by helping shape and be a policymaker for our community here. That affects each and every one of you. So local government, in my opinion, affects you more than the federal government. There's so many things that county government touches in your life, a lot more than how the federal government does, in my opinion. You can see me here at school. We all live here in this community. You may run into me at Walmart. This young lady runs into me in the gym. She plays volleyball. I officiate volleyball for the area. So you can run into me anywhere, and I'm easily accessible. So if you have a problem with county government, you're going to see me probably, you've probably seen me more, I know you've seen me more times than you have Mitch McConnell or Rand Paul or anyone like that, right? So if you have any questions, you can find one of us a lot easier. We're more accessible, excuse me, than our federal or even our state, possibly. So we affect your county property rates. We affect everything that goes on in your life. So, trying to think, I lost my train of thought where I was going with that. Sorry, man, I've been doing so good all day. So I'll just open it up for any questions that you guys may have. I know you have some already pre-planned, but if there's something that you think that I didn't cover, which I probably didn't, but if you have something that just comes up off the top of your mind other than your questions, feel free to ask. Somebody asked me why I wanted to do it. Somebody asked me what I liked about doing it. I don't know if those are pre-planned questions or not, but they were a lot different than some of the other questions that I was getting, so that's why I wasn't sure if they were pre-planned. Yes, sir?
Do you think your job is fun?
Do I think it's fun? I do. So I had that question next door. They wanted to know if I thought it was fun. It is fun seeing the community and helping serve the community, because when you serve, you get joy out of that. And so I get joy out of serving, and when someone comes to me with a problem and I can help get that problem solved, that's a good feeling, right? But also, we have sometimes someone asked me what was the thing that I didn't like, or what was the hardest thing of my job. And for me, the hardest thing is when we have a really tough decision that we have to make, and we have a vote coming up, and I have to look at the pros of what this decision is going to do, and then I have to look at how is this decision going to negatively affect our community. And so I have to look at both sides of the thing, and then I have to try to make the correct decision for the community. I can't make the decision based on, well, I just don't think that is a good idea, but I have to look at what's good for the community. So sometimes we do take our moral compass and put it in with our things in our decision making, but as a local politician and doing what's best for the community, I have to set aside my personal feelings on something and do what's best for the community. So sometimes I wrestle and go back and forth, and it's very mentally and emotionally draining to try to make sure you're doing the right decision. Physically, it's a breeze, but it can be tough, and sometimes that's the toughest part of the job is making sure that you're making the right decisions. And you don't want to make decisions that are only going to affect the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years. I've got to look down the road at 50 years, 70 years, 100 years. I'm not going to be around, but you guys are going to be around. And what decision I make today is going to affect every one of you guys when you're adults, when you're in your 30s and 40s, if you stay in Hardin County, of course. But so I have to look at that. So that's tough to try to think, how is this going to affect you guys? I'm not looking at how's it going to affect me, how's it going to affect my wife, my mom and dad. I've got to figure out how it's going to affect my kids, how it's going to affect you guys, how it's going to affect my grandkids. I don't have grandkids, but how it's going to affect the further generations down the line. And that's something that we have to take very serious, is to look into the future. And it's hard to look into the future. Half of you guys, probably 3/4 of you guys, don't even know what you want to do when you get older, right? So looking that far into the future is tough, and that's tough for us. Another question? Yes?
What is a goal that you plan to achieve this 2025, 2026, and how will you?
Wow, that's a good question. So you mean not a personal goal, right? You're talking a goal for the county? So what I would like to see, the last 3 years I've been in office, we have not had a balanced budget. Okay, we've had to take from reserves to balance our budget. So my goal for this coming year would be that we can come up with a balanced budget where we don't have to take money out of reserves to balance our budget for the county. Yes?
How long have you been in this position, and how long do you plan to stay in this position?
Good question. So we are elected to a 4-year term. This is year 3 of my term. So next year will be my 4th year. So next year I do decide I've only been in for 3 years, 1 term. So I plan, there's not enough you can get done in 1 term. So I do plan on running again next year. I'll be on the ballot next year. And so after that, I don't really know. It's just kind of how I feel things are progressing. I don't want to stay in too long because I want someone with fresh ideas to be able to come in and make sure that I don't want to stay in there too long that I've got tunnel vision, right? I want to see the big picture, and if I get to where I'm not seeing the big picture, then I want to pass it off to someone else who can carry over. Are we done? Oh man, you guys had so many questions. Is it a fast question? I hate to leave them hanging.
Yeah. Where is education on your top priorities?
Education on my top priorities. So that's why I'm here. I like to come and educate you guys. At the county level, we don't have anything to do with your curriculum or how much money you guys get. But this is my education for you guys. So that it's a top priority. I mean, I'm here. I'm not getting paid to be here. I'm just here to help you guys learn and get engaged to be good citizens.
So what I enjoyed today about being at Bluegrass was honestly seeing all the young folks, explaining to them why it's important to not only get out and vote, but what my job is. A lot of great questions they asked, and it was really good to see that they had an interest in everything that's going on, at least in our community, and proud to see them being the next thing in the future of our community.
What should students know about your job that they may not know yet?
So, being mayor of the city is much different because it's very personable. We are interactive. You get to meet us, you get to see us, you see us at the grocery store, you see us at the gas station. And so having the opportunity to meet young folks and come out and visit with them, and I'll see them out at the store and they can run up and ask us questions and obviously understand who our leaders are and why we're important to our community.
What was your favorite question? What was one of your favorite questions asked today?
So probably one of my favorite questions that I was asked today was, why do I do it? And so honestly, we do it to make change. We do it because we want to see change in our community and we want to see a positive growth in our community. And I encourage those kids to understand that while it may not seem important today to listen and hear everything we're saying, it's just like they are the future. And at one point I was them. And so now I'm changing and shaping our community, and I hope for them the same thing when they get older and able to vote.
How do you feel about today's student council election?
So, the student council election today, I think this is a great opportunity for folks to see, and learn how the ballot system works and how they have to fill out the ballots, and of course why it's a secret ballot and why it's not a public vote, and understanding the whole dynamics of why it's important and the rights that we have to go vote is our right, and it's the thing that we encourage them to do. And hopefully when they turn 18, they will take it just as important as we do.
how well do you think the elections went today?
Oh, I think the elections went well. I saw a lot of smiling faces, and I saw a lot of kids that are interested. So hopefully those that are on the ballot will have a good turnout, and hopefully they'll choose the right person to lead here at Bluegrass Middle. JJ Duvall, and how many of you guys realize that Bluegrass Middle School is in E-Town or Ratcliffe? Which one's it in? Who knows? Oh, what's the address? Anybody know the address? Oh, see, nobody knows. Well, guess where it's at? It is in Ratcliffe. John Hardin's in Ratcliffe. Central office is in Ratcliffe. New Highland is in Ratcliffe. And so that means these schools are in my area of control, right? Is that what that means? Yeah, this is interactive, so I'm going to make you all talk, right? Because the important thing about growing up and learning is communicating, right? You got to communicate. So my name is JJ. I'm the mayor of Ratcliffe, and I have been doing this for almost 20 years. Now, 20 years, what color do you think my hair was when I started? It was black, wasn't it? Now look at it, right? It's really solid white. So I'm going to tell you a little about myself, where I went to school, and how I got involved in government, and I'll let you all ask me some questions, okay? So I was born and raised in Ratcliffe. I am a North Hardin graduate. Anybody got any problem with that? Yeah. Some people? Oh, okay, all right, I knew that. You know, because we're down on this end of town, I always got to mention that. But I actually was born and raised, went to Ratcliffe Middle School, went to North Hardin, and then after that went to college for a short bit, came home, and really my family has been active. I don't know if you ever heard of a place called, do I know you? I know you, don't I? I know exactly who you are. God, you've gotten big. You've grown up on me. My family's been involved in the area for many years. My grandfather was one of the first ones who incorporated Ratcliffe back in 1956. So the city of Ratcliffe incorporated, which means we're kind of a young city when you compare it to the city of Elizabethtown. The city of Elizabethtown's been around since early 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. So when you compare that to Ratcliffe, we're a very young city. Now the reason why Ratcliffe got incorporated, and my grandfather and 6 other men did that, was because how many people in here's families are military? So most of y'all came here for military, right? You came from maybe other areas or families who've been in military. Well, we incorporated because of Fort Knox, because we believe the growth and opportunity that was going to happen there at the installation was going to be a big boom for our community. So Ratcliffe and Fort Knox have always been tied together. In fact, the name Ratcliffe comes from a guy named Major William Ratcliffe, who was on the installation, and that's where the name Ratcliffe actually came from. Used to have an E, we dropped the E, but that's a whole nother story. So back when I moved home, back in 2003, my family owns businesses, and the council at the time imposed a thing called a stormwater utility tax, okay? Utility fee is what they called it. And I couldn't understand why that the city was imposing that onto the businesses in our community and the homeowners. So when I asked a council person what that meant, he really couldn't explain it to me very well. And so he looked at me, and he took his finger. I'm going to do it to somebody. Let me see who I can do it to. You look like a good person to do this to. He took his finger and Are you running for president? Vice president. Okay, so you're going to get this. Ready? He took his finger and he goes, if you don't like it, do something about it. That's what he did, right? So you know what I did? I ran for city council. When I was 26 years old, I won. I was 26. So the council terms in Ratcliffe, or any council that's a mayor council form of government, is 2 years. Okay, mayor's 4 years, council's 2 years. The magistrate that you just heard from, or the county judge that you heard from, are both 4-year terms. Okay, so on the council, I ran at 26. I was elected. I came in 3rd out of 6, and then when I ran again, my next term after that 2nd year, I came in 1st, which made me mayor pro tem. So I decided at that time, because I was a high vote getter, that I said, I'm going to run for mayor. All right? You know what they told me when I ran for mayor? You're too young to run for mayor, right? I was 29. So at the time, there's different classes of cities, okay? There's first-class cities, second-class cities, third-class cities, fourth-class cities, okay? Ratcliffe is a second-class city, okay? What that means is Louisville, Lexington are first-class cities, right? They have populations of 9,999 and over. Anything under that is now called home rule cities. But at the time, Ratcliffe was considered a second-class city. So at the age of 29, I was elected. I was the youngest mayor in the state of Kentucky that was elected at the age of 29 over a second-class city. All right? So what does that mean for you guys? How does that relate to you guys? We, your teacher, Mr. Rowlands, We were all you guys at one point. We were young. We didn't understand what politicians mean, what politics means, how it affects you in the classroom, how it affects everything you do on a daily basis, okay? Just like he spoke to you a minute ago, we are the closest form of government that you will meet. Do you know why? You see me at the grocery store. You see me at the store or at the games. You see me at football games. You see me at basketball games. You see me in your classrooms. How many of you guys have ever met a U.S. Senator? How many of you guys ever met the President of the United States? How many of you guys have ever met your congressmen? You met a congressman? See? That's good. How many of you guys have ever met your state local senators? Some of you guys probably have. Matt Deneen, maybe. How many of you guys have ever met your mayor? Every hand in the room should go up. You met your mayor, I'm right here, right? That's what I'm talking about. So those are some of the things. Now, what are we in charge of? We are basically the landlords of your community. Everything that goes on within the community of Ratcliffe, 2 minutes, everything that goes on in the community of Ratcliffe, we're in charge of. Everything from a dog barking to making arrests. That's our role. Fire, police, Parks and Rec, finance, everything. We do it all. So with 2 minutes left, I'm going to ask you all, do you have any questions real quick before we go? Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
How do you decide priorities when there are more like important things to like worry about?
So we do, like for instance, I deal with everything from a lady. We had our festival and parade this weekend, and afterwards we had a little event, and this little older lady, she's probably in her 80s, come up to me and yelled and really got after me because I didn't come to her house, which I didn't know that she wouldn't come to her house, because there were some wires hanging by a telephone pole. Okay, so those wires don't belong to us. They're either the cable company, they're electric, or they're something. But she was very upset with me that I didn't come address that. Okay, but I also deal with people that are getting in car accidents. I deal with people that are shot, murdered. So there's a wide variety. I'll get it out. Of different things that we deal from daily. So it could be something from the little old lady yelling at me for the wires hanging by the pole, to dealing with my police chief in an incident where somebody was stabbed, shot, stuff like that. So we deal with so many different things. The priorities are different, but we always remember that that priority for that little old lady was her wires hanging down, and that meant the world to her. So for her, it's a priority. So for me, it's got to be a priority as well. Yes? So we usually have it changes a lot. It's much different here in our community than it would be in a community like LaRue County, for instance. Because of the installation of the Fort Knox, because of the changes and the way the patterns go there, an economic development plan is good, but it also changes very rapidly in a place like Hardin County because of the transient population. So we always are continuing to monitor the changes that go on the installation, but the also economic growth that's happening, like for instance Ford. Y'all have heard of the Ford Blue Oval. That was a huge thing that's changed the dynamic of the community, that if we would have done an economic plan a year prior and spent $250,000 on the economic plan, that would have got thrown out the window. So it's an evolution. It just keeps constantly turning and changing.
All right, guys.